China. It seems that China has been in the news a lot lately regarding gold and the US dollar, and also oil. So we have an article here from Seeking Alpha. I'll post all the links down below. This one's called Overlooked News Out of China, a Game Changer for the US dollar. So as far as I can see, some version of this story has been floating around the internet for about a week now, and it's been getting almost no mainstream media coverage. So I think this is really important to cover here. So we'll start off by reading a little bit of it. Several largely overlooked items came out of China this week. First, the Shanghai Exchange is moving towards trading in Petroyuan. As we have seen with gold, Shanghai is a very effective delivery-based market. This helps set the stage for Saudi Arabia to disengage from its 1973 Petrodollar agreement, which essentially involves selling oil in US dollars. In the last few years, the Saudis have been the most aggressive country in the world in terms of adding to treasury holdings, now holding a stash of 700 billion. So this story is just one of the many stories that have come out in terms of China and how it is slowly on the path to replacing the petrodollar with something else. And what that something else might be is still to be seen. But we have a lot of indicators and hints at what they're looking at accepting in terms of payment for oil. So let's see here. It is important to note that China is already moving to buy all of its oil in yuan. So far, Russia, Iran, and the UAE transact in yuan, while others have the option and await an opening. So this is actually a really important point too. But as Libya's Gaddafi found out, putting forth a challenge to the petrodollar regime will end your life, like some scenes out of Beetlejuice. So I'll just leave that comment there. It's pretty self-explanatory. China sources for oil. There's some other good graphs here. And now the other story that was really big coming out of China is that, according to a deputy governor at the central bank, China, this is what he stated, it is no longer in China's favor to accumulate foreign exchange reserves. So it was a very broad statement that this man made. A lot of the blogs and websites I've seen have kind of ran with this story and said China is looking to dump the US dollar, run for the hills. But this is all he said. It is no longer in China's favor to accumulate foreign exchange reserves. So what does that mean? Honestly, does that mean they're going to go to, stockpiling some other currency, or are they going to start stockpiling some other commodity such as gold? Now, I'll end this article here. The other begs the question, if the Chinese are not going to add to foreign reserve currencies, then what are they going to use instead? The answer is obvious: gold. So that is this author's opinion. I highly suggest you guys come and read this article. All the articles, as I said before, will be posted down below. So next up we have China's gold imports jump to second highest on record in October. So this, I believe, is noting China's net gold imports from Hong Kong. So I did a video about this a couple of weeks ago, and also I talked about this in my video titled "Why Are Central Banks Hoarding Gold?" Now, if you guys want to go back and take a look at that video, it's very informative about basically the difference between developed nations and developing nations, and how they have a huge difference in their reserves held in gold. So developing nations, I believe, on average have about 25% of their reserves in gold, and I think developing nations, it was closer to 5%. So the main, I guess, theme of the video in question was, what is the effect going to be on the market once emerging market economies start increasing their gold holdings to sort of be in line with the developed nations? And as we know, a lot of the growth and a lot of the new money and new wealth is coming up in these developing nations. That's where a lot of the growth is being seen, and their future moves should really, really not be discounted, because to find out now what they look like, or sort of how they're positioning themselves for the future, is going to add a lot of value for you, and it's going to show you where and what they possibly could be positioning themselves for in the future. So finally, gold price fixing scandal. UK's FCA scrutinizes $20 trillion gold market. So I know a lot of people, when they hear this title, they're going to immediately start thinking of the evil banksters who are manipulating the gold and silver prices down for their own financial interests, and also to show the world how there's nothing wrong with the US dollar currency system, and how the economy is improving and everything is just rainbows and sunshine. That is one theory. So I'm not saying that's correct, I'm not saying that's false. I'm kind of just going to suspend judgment on that specific line of reasoning. But this article right here is about, I believe it's about London and how they fix the gold price every day. So I think a lot of you guys might not even know this about the gold market. But every business day in London, 5 banks meet to set the price of gold in a ritual that dates back to 1919. Now, dealers and economists say knowledge gleaned on those calls could give some traders an unfair advantage when buying and selling the precious metal. So this is kind of taking another angle on the whole manipulation story. It's discussing how the gold price is fixed by these 5 banks, and this has gone back to 1919. The London fix, the benchmark rate used by mining companies, jewelers, and central banks to buy, sell, and value the metal, is published twice daily after a telephone call, including Barclays, Deutsche Bank, Bank of Nova Scotia, HSBC, and Societe Generale. And finally, this is basically what they're saying about the unfair advantage that's gained. Information trickles down from the 5 banks through to their clients and finally to the broader market. So I guess they're just saying traders that find out about this information earlier have some sort of advantage over people who find it later. So that's about it. There's 3 links for you guys today. As I said before, I'll post all of them down below. Just hit that link and it'll take you over to to all of these articles. So that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these 3 articles. They're pretty interesting. And yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys on the next one.